Hey friend, this is episode 514 of the And So podcast with Taylor Bradford. Let's get to it. Boss Girl Creative presents And So with Taylor Bradford, business and life musings from a successful serial entrepreneur. Each week, you will hear Taylor spill the tea on all things business, life, relationships, health, and everything in between. But don't worry, each week also includes a business nugget that will help you stay on course. And now a throwback to 3-year-old Taylor who inspired all of this.
And so.
Hello, welcome to this episode of the And So podcast. I am your host, Taylor Bradford. Thank you so much for being here, first of all. Today is my birthday. Actually, it's towards the tail end of my birthday. I turned 44 today. Holy cow. Getting old, y'all. Getting old. So, today was busy. Today, I was really hoping to spend time as a birthday gift to myself in my garden. I was unable to do that until later in the afternoon, and I managed to get some zinnias planted. I actually seed started zinnias, and then total newbie, overachiever, overzealous gardener, I took plants out on Saturday to plant out, and I took too many. So I left some out there in a shady spot, and even though I had been hardening them off at my shop is 18 feet tall on the sidewalls, and it blocks a decent amount of wind coming in from the west. And I killed most of my zinnias that I worked so hard to grow. So I did manage to get out into the garden before I watered, and I planted about 35-ish feet of zinnias and then started in the next row and started planting more. And so they will not take long to grow. I'm just really mad at myself for being that overeager to plant things out because I have so much to plant. So, Lesson learned. All right, let's get into what we're talking about today. First, let's talk about the books I've been reading. So I am currently reading Assistant to the Villain, which is so fun so far. I'm probably only like 15% into that one. And I am so close to finishing Things We Left Behind. I've been trying at lunch to open my Kindle app and read a physical book. And so I'm so close. And like I said in a previous podcast episode, it's not that it's a bad book. I absolutely adore Lucy Score. And today it had me crying. Like it was very emotional, the parts that I was reading. And yeah, so Things We Left Behind. It's so good. I'm just too slow right now with reading something and not listening to something. So I did finish Code Name Helene by Ariel Lawhon. So good. And it's based on a true story in World War II. And it was just Ariel never disappoints me. This was so good. I feel like she writes up there with my other favorite, Kate Quinn. I feel like they are mutually writing at the same level. And oh my goodness, highly recommend Codename Helene. I also finished K is for Killer, which is a Sue Grafton book. And both of those I give 5 stars. Reading just brings me so much joy. And I wish I was working faster through Things We Left Behind, as I've been trying to read that for well over a month. But it is what it is. So I told you about my rookie eager beaver gardening mistake that I made, but I also stumbled on completely 180, but still talking about my garden. I stumbled on an account. I got to go find the name of it really quick. Small Scale Rebellion. And their model is, they're farmers. Their model is a farm hub. And I don't know, I think I must have seen them in a reel and I followed them and then they followed me back and interacted with some of my content. I'm now in their school community. And of course, they pitched to have like a one-to-one to find out if I'd be a good candidate for learning more about creating my own farm hub. And I think it is something like in my next 1 to 2 year goal. Like, first of all, before I like dive deep into all of this, I got to get good at something, like specifically growing something. And I'd love for that to be flowers. Like, I would love to get really good at like 5 types of flowers, 5 varieties, but then like a rainbow of colors. And so I'm just testing what I can do. And maybe I can even do some vegetables. But what I love about the concept of a farm hub is not necessarily having a storefront per se. Like, their business model is to have a farm hub where they get good at something. They got good at something, and then they partnered with other farmers in their area and other makers in their area and created a farm store that's online. And they do free delivery to their area. And they do a hybrid CSA model. And they sell a membership, and you get to use the membership credit. So let's say it's $500 and you have 6 months to spend $500, and then you can renew as long as you stay a member. You can renew as long as you want. And they allot X amount of memberships in a year. And as long as you hold that, you'll be able to maintain having that membership. And it encourages people where what is limiting in a CSA, which is community supported agriculture, what is limited with a CSA is a growing season. But if you're a farm hub and you are working with other farmers, you can potentially have a 365-day store that's online. And so something that I was like, oh, because one of my passion projects that I would love to see come to fruition at some point in my life is to be able to partner with local farmers and partner with local chefs. From the farmer's standpoint, I want to be able to take their food waste, the things they cannot sell because either they're ugly or whatever it might be, and make sure that some lab does a test to make sure there's nothing wrong with the food, because heaven forbid, I don't want to serve food that's going to make somebody sick. But then partner with the chefs and have them cooking meals, ideally 7 days a week, and have rotating chefs and feeding my community, because being hungry is probably the worst thing that somebody could experience. One of the worst things. You can't function if you're hungry. You can't perform well when you're hungry. You can't be there fully mentally when you're hungry. And that is like, especially for kids, I want to be able to provide food to my community. And I think this could lead me there. This farm hub could lead me there. Like, I could connect with the farmers. I would be a farmer myself and get it's called the Hope Mission. I've owned the LLC for a really long time, probably since 2016. And I want to be able to use the Hope Mission to do that, to serve my community and feed people. I don't want anyone in my community to be hungry. And I think that could take me there and definitely help me with connections. I already follow a couple of local farmers. I already also know personally several chefs in my area, and I think it would be something they would consider. So that is TBD, but I was like, oh my gosh, just like what exists out there, and because I'm constantly looking for audio to create my reels from, because I'm still posting daily, it allows me to see and like experience what other people are doing in the world. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, even when our world really does feel chaotic right now. So I think that's beautiful. And I'm excited to be a part of their community, to learn from them. And in their second year, they were already making 6 figures from their farm hub. Like, is this what I'm going to do when I retire Sugar Creek, when I'm tired of moving furniture all the time? I think I just found what I pivot into in the next 3 to 5 years. So, or maybe 2 to 4 years, who knows? So that is that. And that leads me into my segue of my birthday gift for my husband. I'm going to be having a greenhouse built out at the land. So we should be breaking ground in the next 60 days for our house. And my greenhouse will also start at the same time, which I am so excited about. All right, let's dive into my stats. So a little dismal from last week to this week. Still forward progress, like still growth on all 3, but definitely not the same kind of growth that I experienced last week. On YouTube, just a reminder, I started tracking everything on January 27th. We are now at April 14th. And YouTube, I started out with 234 subscribers. Last week I was at 381. This week I'm at 389. On Instagram, I started at 3,470. Last week I was at 3,515. This week I'm at 3,519. And then on TikTok, I started counting at 139 followers. Last week I was at 573. This week I'm at 635. With likes on TikTok, I started at 1,386. Last week I was at 7,080. And this week I'm at 7,522. So still forward movement on all 3 channels, and just not as much as what I saw the week before. So let's get into the nugget. And because I expose myself to all kinds of Reels content when I'm searching for audio, and I try to keep the algorithm in my favor, like I try really hard not to interact with things that are just going to populate more of that. So I just don't want to upset my algorithm when it's showing me what I want to see. But I did see this one. It is totally relatable, which is why I was like, I'm totally screenshotting this so that I can talk about it on the podcast this week. And the simplicity is, and this goes along with, showing up for yourself in your business and marketing your content, marketing what it is that you sell, what it is that you offer, and not being afraid of that. So I remember last week I saw somebody ask about like, hey, I just started this Instagram and it's been a personal Instagram, and my family and my friends and, some other people follow me. And do I need to create a different account? Like I already have a creator account as far as like the different types on Instagram, but I don't want to spam my friends and family with my content. And so I was like, I really wanted to say something, but it's not my group. And I want to be very mindful about sharing wisdom and not stepping on somebody else's toes. I am paying to be in the group that I'm seeing this stuff happen in. But I then later saw on Instagram some very similar messaging, and it was enough for me to screenshot it so I could be like, you know what? This is gold. This is so good. So here's the nugget. Share it. Share your stuff. Like I would use a different word, but I don't want to have to flag this episode as naughty. Share it. So this is what the reel said. I received 4 emails from Old Navy just yesterday. Unbothered, I glanced at all of them. And then I went to Old Navy because I remembered I needed a shirt for my daughter. Share your content. The corporate and retail world does not care about spamming your inbox, and you shouldn't either. Because here's the key difference. The corporate and retail world understand how the consumer thinks and how the consumer buys. And they are reaching a market already looking for what they have. So, newsflash, friendly reminder, people are following you because they want to. They care about what you are doing and what you are selling. Don't fail because you're worried about spamming somebody. At the very least, they will mute you. At the very worst, they'll unfollow you. But who cares? It's not personal. They are no longer being served with what you're selling or what you are sharing. So if they get tired of it, let them move on down the road. It's even better when they don't vocalize that they're moving on down the road. Like I unfollowed a creator that I have followed for years today because I no longer align with what she is sharing. And it's not her per se, it's just I no longer have an interest, so I don't need to see her show up in my feed. Don't fail because you are worried about spamming someone. They can mute you. They can unfollow you. Who cares? Keep going. Keep sharing your message. So I want to challenge you. This is going to be short and sweet because I am really tired. But I want to challenge you every day, but specifically today, because this is when you're listening. Today, did you show up on your stories? Now, this can be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any social platform that has story capabilities. Did you show up there today? Did you share at least 5 affiliate links today? Did you post in your feed today? Did you spend 10 to 15 minutes engaging with other accounts today? And finally, have you responded to all comments and DMs today? It's very simple. This is how you are able to compound your interest on social media. Like, I feel like I need to trademark this. It is not hard to compound your interest on social media. I am literal proof, documenting week to week, of me having some kind of growth, even though there was some stagnancy on Instagram. I have had movement since I started tracking, but I'm also being intentional. I know what my niche is. I know who I'm looking for, and I'm showing up and I'm sharing, and I'm unbothered about it. Could I get better at some of the other things? Absolutely. Could I send out or even finish some of the things I've talked about in the last few weeks on the podcast? Yes. I also, as a pure excuse, run a bunch of other things, a bunch of other companies that have taken more priority because of the ROI on what I'm doing is paying out faster. So I will eventually get there when I have a slow season, slow space. But at the very minimum, you need to be able to say yes to the questions I just asked you. Today, did you show up on your stories? Today, did you share at least 5 affiliate links? Today, did you post in your feed? Today, did you spend 10 to 15 minutes engaging with other accounts? Today, did you respond to all comments and DMs? Please, please, please hear me when I say do not fail because you're worried about offending somebody by talking about what it is that you do every day. Like, please don't let that be the thing that makes you fail, because if the retail giants can put 4 emails in your inbox in one day, you should be unbothered about sending 1 a week or 1 a day. If you want to go that route, do it. I'm not going to hold you back. There are reasons why it works. Figure out what works for you, but don't fail because you're worried about somebody else and what they think about seeing you so often in the feed. Who cares? They're not your ideal person anyway. They're not your blue person. So, key difference. The retail giants, they understand how the consumer thinks and buys, and they're reaching a market already looking for what they have. You have to channel that too. So please, 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 please don't fail because you're worried about spamming somebody. People can unfollow. People can unsubscribe. That is okay. That is okay. It's not personal. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you found it inspiring. I hope that you will go and do the things that I just challenged you to do if you haven't already done them today, and then repeat it tomorrow. and the day after that, and then keep going. Don't stop. Until next week, I hope you have a great rest of this one.
And flow. And talk. Let's go.
And like my 3-year-old self said, that is all for this week. Friendly reminder to rate and review my show wherever you are listening. And last but not least, I'd love to hear from you. Leave me an audio message at bossgirlcreative.com/speak. I would love to hear your takeaways, ideas for upcoming episode topics, and your feedback. Thank you again for listening to this week's episode. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of this one.